For most of the time I was in prison, I shared a cell with one other person. For one of the 19 years, I had a single cell in the honor pod, so I had a cell all to myself. And for the last 10 months after they transferred me to Coffeewood, I was in an open dormitory, so a big room with 81 other people just stacked on top of one another. When I was in the cell, the biggest thing I had to worry about was a cell partner who snored or made noise, or a neighbor who was rude or played his TV too loud. And those things were usually addressed. I remember one night when these two young kids were yelling out the door back and forth after lockdown. The next morning, an old head went to the door with a knife in his hand and was like, "Yo, y'all ain't gonna do that no more." And they didn't do that anymore. So there was a certain level of respect that made things really easy to deal with. And that time at Coffeewood was a huge shift because suddenly there was no separation. There was no way to get away from a guy who snored or mumbled in his sleep, or get away from a guy who was loud just because he was inconsiderate. And not only that, there wasn't the same level of respect. And the irony is, at the higher level prisons that had cells, there was a lot more respect and consideration because violence was a reality. So guys said, "Oh, this is going to have consequences, I'm not going to do it." But at the lower level prison, the dormitory, everybody was just trying to go home, so there were no consequences.